Welcome, and today we're going to look at episode 4 of HoA versus episode 4 and 5 of HHA. In this episode, Patricia is bonding with the comedic duo and brews up a plan against Nina, which is something that she wants the comedic duo to help her with. Fabian gets to know about the nightmare Nina had, and Trudy tells everyone about the elderly lady from yesterday. Amber boldly asks Nina about her parents, and we get to know that Nina's parents died in a car accident. So, TV parents of them. Patricia tries to bully Nina by pointing out that her sole caretaker sent her away, which is a fair point. Throughout this episode, Amber is jealous of Mara multiple times and even tries to confront her, but it doesn't really end with anything. When Mara tells Mick about Amber's jealousy, Mick just laughs in her face. The boy has a great talent for hurting women's feelings.
You should write a book. How to offend women in 5 syllables or less.
Mick gives Mara the same type of bracelet he gave Amber, and later, Amber notices that her bracelet is practically the same as Mara's and dashes off in search of Mick. Also throughout this episode, Fabian tries to tell Patricia and the comedic duo off for going after Nina, but it's not very successful. And later, in a totally not suspicious way, the gang is standing near Victor's office, on top of stairs, in a circle, waiting for him to leave. Victor does see it as suspicious, but Nina gets the opportunity to grab the key anyway. Unfortunately, she sort of stumbles when Victor's returning, and he ends up seeing her in this weird meet cute with Corbier. And that is a weird cliffhanger-y ending of episode 4 of HoA. We return to the feather prank. Amber comes in and kicks Appy and Patricia out of the room. Inke tells her about what she saw in the nursing home, but Amber brushes it off and tells Inke to sleep. Later, at school, they talk and Amber reveals to her that she barely slept because of the situation with Mick. Patricia and the comedic duo bond. Fabian has a talk with Patricia about her behavior. Amber is jealous of Mara. Mick attempts to give Amber a gift, but Mara interrupts it, which causes Amber to dash off. In the bathroom, Amber confronts Mara, saying that she knows what she's doing, but Mara denies anything going on between her and Mick apart from friendship and helping with studying. A new teacher is introduced, teacher of drama and history. They play an interpretation game. Patricia and the comedic duo decide to have Nienke go through an initiation when you won't expect it. Fabian gives them some sarcastic remarks about it. Mick finally gives Amber the bracelet and they start making out. Mara sees this and that is the sad ending. Episode 5. It's the evening. Victor talks to a dead animal again. Appy steals the key to the attic. Appy hides behind a conveniently placed armor stand. The comedic duo and Patricia are plotting. Nienke is worried about the initiation. Amber tells her that they never actually had an initiation before. Amber is beyond happy with Mick's gift. The next day, she notices that Mara has the same one and splashes water on Mick's face the moment she sees him. We have some more morning shenanigans. Nienke visits her grandma again, as it is a day off from school. Grandma notices that something's wrong. Nienke avoids further questioning and dashes off to the bathroom. The elderly lady appears again and gives her the locket. She keeps telling her to keep it safe or they will take it. Nienke tries to refuse the gift, but the lady insists. She might be crazy. Nienke gets back home and someone puts a bag over her head. R.I.P. Nienke Martens, was nice knowing ya. In HHA, Amber gets Patricia and Abby away from Ninka, who's having nightmares, which wasn't even possible in HoA due to the fact that Nina doesn't live with Amber, but with Patricia instead. HoA Patricia's reason for pranking Nina was that she had a nightmare and woke her up from sleep talking. But in HHA, Patricia just did it to mess with Ninke and got Uppy involved with the prank. Ninke tells Amber about the elderly lady, what she said, and the painting she saw in the nursing home when she wakes up from the nightmare. Nina doesn't tell Amber first about the elderly lady, but Fabian, when they start talking about the nightmare at breakfast. The rest of the characters only know that some elderly lady was present when Trudy tells them about it. Patricia accidentally spills water on Uppy. No such thing happens to Alfie. We never see Trudy give kids their lunches in HoA, but we do see it in HHA. We get to know what happened to Nina's parents in this episode, but not what happened to Ninke's parents. In both versions, Amber confronts Mara about her relationship with Meg, but HoA Amber seems to not think that Mara has feelings for Meg, while HHA Amber clearly sees Mara as someone trying to steal Meg away from her. On Meg's second attempt in the HHA, he finally gives Amber her bracelet in the cafeteria and they make out. In HoA, however, he gives her the bracelet in his room on his first attempt, and they merely hug. In all cases though, Mara was there. A part of the initiation in HoA is Nina stealing the key to the attic. That is not the case in HHA, where Uppy steals the key instead. There are also differences between how much information the comedic duo and Patricia are providing to Nina/Ninke, but honestly it doesn't matter much, and it's all very similar apart from the key thing which I already mentioned. In HHA, Amber's making breakfast for Meg when she notices Mara's bracelet, after which she gets water all over the guy. In HoA, Amber notices the bracelet when Mara calls her over to do chores in the kitchen. The scene of Nina having a moment with Corbier does not happen in HHA because, well, Episode 5 of HHA is when Ninke finally gets the locket, which Nina got on her first meeting with Sarah in episode 3 of HoA. Scenes that so far are missing between the HHA and HoA are scenes involving Ninke's grandmother, for obvious reasons, introduction to a new teacher from HHA who Mara is infatuated with, so there's no spontaneous interpretation game. Scenes of the morning shenanigans, and Ninke getting a bag over her head at the end of the episode 5. This is getting confusing fast. These few episodes are tangled up an awful lot. I don't even know where to start with this. Well, I like HoA's decision when it comes to the key. It made for some funny, or at least amusing, scenes, along with putting some strength into the main character. At the same time, I like the slow burn of HHA. They don't rush things and make little callbacks which make for more meaningful yet slower and more soapy situations. It's also really nice how they set up Amber and Ninke's relationship. It feels real, it has meaning. In HoA, on the other hand, there isn't even a friendship there yet. Instead, they're trying to put the potential romantic relationship in the spotlight. But with that, they ruin it, as there is no sort of awkwardness, longing, and a sort of mutual understanding between the characters like there is in HHA. The clear difference between the series, in my opinion, is that one, HHA, feels grittier, with characters straight up making out on the scene and calling each other out. It's a slow burn, and we see scenes such as characters just trying to get to the bathroom, while the other HoA is cleaner. We see fewer scenes that would show how they are day to day, and the whole show is quite cringy actually. less soapy, but so far infinitely more cringy. What I don't like about HHA is the weird scenes with the alleged quote-unquote hot teacher. It's a weird trope to begin with, and I'm not the one to question how realistic it is, but the whole scene just felt off. From his entrance to his spontaneous game of interpretations that showed how Patricia is not as strong as she thinks, in the context of on-spot interpretations, I guess, it just felt absurd. Like a deleted scene that somehow made its way into the actual show.